All right, this should be going live now. We should be live. Let's see. Are we live? Yes, we are. Okay, cool. Cool. Let me just change this to headphones so that we can hear. All right, cool. Cool. Let's talk about some trading. I'm gonna switch my screen and show you guys what we're currently working with. I'm gonna show you guys the trade that I already took this morning, and we're gonna talk about it because I think this will be interesting for everybody. All right, just gonna wait for a couple people to get in here, and once they're in here, we are going to talk about this. And I'm gonna see if we can actually catch another trade. So let's see what happens. Just waiting for some people to get in here. It is currently Monday, August 12th. It's 9:47. As you can see, I've already entered a position here. And it's going to look, dumb. Like, why in the heck would you buy here? But I'll explain. My edge is my edge for a reason, right? So, and I was talking about this in the last live stream as well. Like, why I do what I do and why it works out for me. What other people wouldn't do, I would do. Now, I could have easily, obviously, jumped in here and done it. But doesn't matter. Does not matter. What matters is that I follow my strategy. So okay, awesome. All right, it's currently 9:48, so most people are probably already trading. So they're gonna be a little bit busy, but all right, so we got a couple people in here. All right, guys, what's up? If you guys are here, welcome to the live. Drop a thumbs up, a fire, something in the chat, just so we know that you are active and you're here. We're gonna talk about this morning's trading, the trade I already took, and then we're gonna see if we can possibly catch another trade. If you guys have seen, some of the videos and the lives that we have done already, you will know how I trade and why I take the positions I do. But as of right now, let's just talk about the analysis, right? Let me take some of these things off here. Let me take the indicators off real quick. And we can look at some of the things that I was looking at. Now, I'm going to explain something else as well. What's up, Marcus? What's good? I'm going to explain something else as well. You guys can see here we have this massive, this was on the daily chart. There's a massive gap right here, right? And so when I got into the charts this morning, I knew that this area was going to be nasty work, as in it was going to push down. So the question is, if I knew that this was going to happen, why did I still take a trade? It's because essentially my analysis still told me to do so. I was talking about this last time that, like, if you don't execute on your trades, right? If you don't take your setup when it shows up, that's when you failed as a trader. So I still took it, even though I knew in my heart, I'm like, this is just going to plummet. And look at this, right? I could have easily, let's say, let me turn this around. I could have easily, let's say, did this instead, right? Come here, wait for the retracement back into somewhere up here. Put my stops, put my stops somewhere just above there. And even a nice 1 to 2, I'd have been set. But that's not what my strategy tells me at this time. In order for me to have taken this particular trade, there were some other conditions that would have to be met on the sell side in order for me to do so. All right. Seiko's in here. What's up, Seiko? Thanks for joining the live. So basically, that's basically what happened this morning. So what I'm doing is I'm just currently looking to see if there's any other areas in which we can either catch a retracement on the sell side or still get in for a buy. Now, in terms of what I'm looking at, we've already utilized this gap, so I'm not going to take it too seriously. We do have this one that's untouched, so it depends on what price is doing. It's currently 9:50, and my session is done at 11. So as long as my session is open, I still can look for trades and look for entries and things of that nature. So that's essentially what we're doing. We're chopping it up, guys, and we're just going to talk about these trades. Now, before I kind of get into a long-winded analysis, if you guys could put in the chat what you're trading this morning, if you took a trade, how did it go? I'm curious to see how it's been for everybody this morning already. And what do you guys think the week is going to be like? I mean, all the markets right now are crashing and, like falling apart. So It's going to be pretty interesting. What do you guys think? What are you guys trading? What are you guys trading so far? Marcus, Seco, and to the person who just joined, what are you guys trading so far? I'm a US30 only guy right now. Like I usually trade US30. I trade NAS 100 and SPX 500. That's it. S&P 500, Dow Jones, and the NAS 100, NASDAQ 100, right? So that's basically all that I trade. I don't trade anything else, but I know some of it. For example, I know Marcus trades gold and he trades other things as well. Marcus said he took along with GJ. That's awesome. Let's take a look at GJ and just see what GJ looks like. Where's my, yeah, there we go. Let's type in, okay, GBP, JPY, and let's do a Wanda just to be on the safe side. All right, so we can see here, well, this is the 1 minute, so let's go to the 1 hour and take a look. GJ, we can actually see right, excuse me, we can see right here that price is kind of, you know, going along this trend a little bit, and it's kind of forming like a funnel in a sense. Oops, a little bit of a, what's that triangular thing called, Marcus, with the whole retail setup that they used to teach us? But something like this, right? So this tells me, based on, again, what we learned from trading with like certain patterns and stuff like that, price is supposed to come down, right? Go up, down, whatever. Come here. It's doing this basically, right? So from what we know, price is eventually going to keep, you know, like squeezing, and eventually we're going to get this. That's what we're supposed to get. Marcus says should have held longer, small scalp. Bro, as long as you won and you made money, that's all that matters, bro. That is all that matters. You know what I mean? So as long as you made money, we good. But it's essentially based on what I'm seeing here. This is what we're anticipating at some point. Now, there's always a possibility price could really break up here, retest some of these levels here before it really shoots down. Anything is possible in the markets. No matter how well our analysis does, it doesn't matter. The market will do what it wants to do, especially when there are fundamentals involved. And right now that everything's crashing, your technicals may work, may not work. It doesn't matter. We have up here what's considered a bit of an order block on the 1 hour here. So I'm curious to see what price does when it reaches this area here. In terms of the 15-minute, let me see any gaps or anything. There was a gap right here. Price already mitigated that, but it is something to still watch out for. Right? And as you can see in this level, we're starting to get a little bit of pushback. So we don't know, but rising wedge, this one, I think. Yeah, I think you're right as well. A rising wedge. I think you're correct. I'm not too familiar with these terms, but I think you are correct. So let's go back to US30. US30 is just plummeting. It's just going into the floor, and it's doing what technically it should be doing. Regardless of what my bias was in the morning, this looks, you know, about right to me. We've entered a daily bearish gap. Remember, this is the beginning of the week, so there should be a good push towards the downside. As to where price is going to go all the way, that remains unknown. Thanks, babe. Appreciate you. Oh, I got eggs with it too. Let's go. Thank you so much. And water too. Appreciate you. Love you too, baby. Bye. All right, so regardless of what my bias was for, you know, this morning, this looks about right to me. In fact, let me see if I can go on to a different chart to make it a little bit more clean. There we go. All right, so on the daily, this is what I was looking at in the morning. When we started, I noticed this massive gap up here for the daily. So I said, okay, since we're starting at this time, price hadn't really touched there yet, just kind of got into that area. I'm like, there's a good chance based on market structure, because we've been doing this, right? We've been going up, down, up, came down, right? Went up a little bit, formed a lower high instead of a higher high, and then price broke structure. So the only, you know, logical thing is to at least expect some sort of activity in this region. So this is all I was anticipating, but I didn't take it because on the sell criteria, it didn't meet my trades. K.FX said, and PO3 and IC concert, or was there around for way longer than him? I've been long on gold from last week. It's still pulling up. Yeah, let's take a look at gold too. Let's see. We just looked at GJ. Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Gold is just still going, right? So let's see here. Very interesting, actually. Very, very interesting on what's happening with gold. Let me get rid of some of these things here just to clean it up a little bit. But yeah, you can see, so gold is one of those, man, gold is one of those things. I'll probably need Marcus's help with this one. I don't trade gold. It's just one of those things that I'm not the best with. But you can see here that basically based on the daily, we've been going up, right? Price has been going up, then down, then up, you know, kind of retraced downward a little bit, and then it shot up, broke these levels, hit this zone here, made a lower high, but it's not a confirmed lower high because it didn't break any of this. It didn't break here and hasn't broken this here for us to consider it a higher high either. So right now it's in the process of forming. So this is what we have so far. But you can see right off the bat here that there was, you know, a little structure here. I, again, don't trade this. I would have to go down to like the 1 hour or something to kind of see what's going on. I can see that price had this bearish gap, you know, mitigated it already. We came back into this zone and price is violating that gap. So, you know, gold is still incredibly bullish. It doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. But I do always consider the way price goes upwards. Like you can see here when price was going up, you know, it was with like long, you know, large candles pushing upwards. Okay, so I look at stuff like that. And then I look at it over here and I can say, okay, we have, you know, a couple candles and whatnot, but it's been a little bit more choppy, you know, a little bit more not so strong. This is our latest strong move. So this still gives us hope. For me, if this was indices, I would be knowing that around here, somewhere around here in this gap, we're expecting this. That's what happens on indices. But, you know, with gold, we don't know it too well. So if you took a trade on gold and you made it on gold this morning, shout out to you. That is fire. That's pretty cool. But for US30 right now, what we're looking at is, as you can see, price has just plummeted, right? And we can look at where we can possibly get in either for our retracement, right? Or, believe it or not, we still have gaps in this area. US30 and indices in general are pairs that generally still push towards the upside at some point. Like they still will give you large retracements because it's a pair that's naturally bullish, right? So we have this going on here. We have another one down here. Now, when I'm going to call it quits on this, you know, session today is when when the time hits 11 o'clock. I trade from 8:30 to 11. I don't care what happens after 11, no matter how amazing. It could have been a 1 to 1,000, you know, RR trade. It doesn't matter to me. My rules tell me once it's 11 o'clock, cut the trade. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But right now, in terms of if we're going to follow this trend that's bearish, because right now, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at price that's, I'll show you guys right here. Price has come down, right? Oops. Price has come down. Give us a little bit of retracement, down, a little bit of retracement, down. Then it started doing this like, you know, kind of like in this channel. And then it shot down, consolidated a little bit, and then shot up. Okay, so this market structure tells me that at some point we were either going to break here with some force or we were going to come back down. So the whole time last week, I was just kind of looking to see what would happen. I took some scalps with some buys and some sells and I made some money. But this week, I was curious to see, are we going to break this level and start going towards the upside? Or are we going to tank and just continue going down? Based on what I'm seeing here with market structure, and especially after this move, there's a good chance we can go down. Doesn't mean we can't catch any scalps. Maximus FX said, I think a new high will be formed. I'm still holding. Yeah, I'm going to check it in a sec. I'm really curious to see what your analysis is like. Marcus said CPI Wednesday, so you might want to exit the trade to be safe. Okay, got you. Marcus trades gold, so y'all could chop it up about gold. We'll take a look at it in a sec. But for US30, this is what we're looking at. So in order for me to, I mean, again, I can get in and on a retracement here, you know, take a scalp for the sells. But in order for me to do that, some things would have to be fulfilled first. Because even though with this daily gap, there's a lot of pressure that's going to be coming from this side, price might still want to bounce up in here, right? Like bounce off of here and then still retest this area. So you might get some stuff like this, you know, like this, and then maybe another one like that to really push downwards. So there's so many things that can happen. And my job as a trader is to just analyze and take my trade. This morning, I'll show you guys the trade that I took that was, you know, when you look back at it, it was a horrible trade. But the reason why I took it is because it met my criteria. to me as a trader, if you don't pull the trigger when everything lines up, you have failed to trade, right? You failed as a trader. So that's the way I looked at it. I don't go by what I feel, even though everything was telling me like, bro, where you are, it's not good to take that type of retracement because you're going to get washed. I still took the trade, and I'll make it back on the next one. That's how my trading just works. So I'll show you guys right here. We'll go back just a little bit. This is what was happening. Here's why I had some reservations. That I'll give you a couple of things. Number one, that big, bearish gap that we had tapped into, it was already starting to move in this direction. So I knew that price would most likely retrace in here because from this daily gap, we're going to get a really strong push towards the downside. However, we had a gap here that price had come into and given me my famous pattern of the like this, down, up, break above in here. This is what I was looking for. So everything's set up. I have a list of things that I check off before I trade. Everything from left to right. We were kind of, even though we're heading into a strong area, we've been going bullish and all that stuff. So I said, okay, based on what I'm seeing, this is enough for me to enter, even though all my senses and everything else is telling me, don't take the trade. Now, the reason why I still take the trade is because in times past, in the past, I've looked at things and said, oh, this looks like it's not going to work. And it ends up being my best trade. Because you can't go by feeling. The market will do what it has to do. So you look at the technicals and you take the trade. And what ended up happening here is this. Price went up, came back into it, and then took me out. All right. So that's where we are right now. Now, again, that's why your risk to reward has to be positive so that you can get into another trade. Now, here we are. Prices come back into this zone right here. This zone was already mitigated. Don't really trust it too much. I'm more confident if price comes back into here, but we can watch this and see how it works out. For now, we are getting a bit of this, right? I would prefer, even if I want to hop in just to see, I'd prefer price to go up right away, because when you have momentum, then you can tell that price is at least going to give you a decent retracement. With this, where it's kind of gone up and a bit of a staircase type situation, I'm not too sure, but we can still analyze it and see. I don't trade indices. I'd like to learn a lot from you to trade indices. Yeah, for sure. I could show you. I've been doing it for a couple of days now. I could show you everything I know. And I have some accounts here that I'm willing to take some trades on just to show you guys in real time what ends up happening. So a situation like this, I'm not too thrilled. It doesn't meet my pattern or anything like that. I think that's what we call the edge. When you feel the edge with respect to your analysis, I think it's always best to take the trade. If it goes against you, you learn nonetheless. Absolutely. Maximus, I agree with you 1,000%. That's what trading is about. If it ends up not working in your favor, like you said, you learn. That's just how it goes. But the thing is, you have to learn to be disciplined. The reason why everybody's trying to build bots and stuff like that is because bots won't look at this and say, ooh, today's Tuesday, I'm not sure. It'll take the trade as soon as the conditions are met. And if you can program a bot or an algorithm to trade consistently, you're bound to make money. So we have to kind of be a bot ourselves, you know what I mean? A robot, I should say, in order for us to get the results we want. We have to be very consistent in our behavior, in our approach, and in the way that we take trades. K.FX said, I'm waiting for a pullback to the 39,430 level. Okay, so I'm assuming you're still talking about gold. Okay, 39. No, it can't be gold. Oh, he's talking about indices. Okay, let's see. I'm sure, right? 39,430 level. Where are we at right now? Okay, there you go. 39,430, he said. Okay. Like right here. Is there a way to put a... Okay, let me do this instead. Okay, and then let's program this. I think you can set the coordinates. And he put 39,430. Okay, so let's put 39,430. All right, so that's where he's waiting for price to retrace to. That's very interesting. I'm very curious to see what's there. Well, I mean, based off of market structure, you can see, like in these areas, you do have a bit of a support that could turn into resistance, right? So, or anywhere. Once you get past this area, you can see there's a bunch of areas here where price can easily, bump into something up here and trade. I'm personally looking for other criteria before I enter a trade. On the 1 minute here, we can see price is fighting against this level here. Okay, now it's with situations like this, it's not pattern alone. You want momentum. A slow trace to the upside can still work. I've seen this happen. Yeah, he said, nah, US30. Yeah, I got you, K dot. You can still obviously go towards the upside, right? It can still push heavily towards the upside and still get a quick scalp. But for me, one of the things I look for is momentum, like proper volume. Once you get volume and momentum in there, it's a good indication that price really wants to go the other way. So for example, if I was even gonna enter, let's say I was still planning to take this trade, it would have to, like, the way it goes past this has to be strong, or else I'm not really convinced. Especially considering how much we've, trailed towards the downside. But at the same time, let's look at the daily candle. Look at the daily candle. The daily candle is showing us that price started over here, right? Went all the way up here and now touched here and is hovering around this area. So price went from being bullish to being bearish. And so far, the bearish momentum is super strong. So I don't know. But there you go. So price is starting to break this side here. So I'd wait for the candle to close. Wait for a price to retrace back into that level, 1 to 2. That's it on something like this. Am I going to take this trade actually in real life? Not really. Should I? Should I take this trade? You guys want me to take the trade regardless? I'll take the trade. I don't care. If you guys really want to see me take it, but it's not really my strategy. But I would take the trade if you guys want me to. I don't really care, but not really my thing. I'm going to go long on GJ and UJ. Let's see. Euro JPY. So let's go to GBP. All right. So, all right. Marcus is looking to get in here. Nice. So we'll see how that goes. And then he put, actually, no, let me not open another one. This would be too much. Let's put Euro JPY. Excuse me. Oh, they kind of look like they're doing similar things. I see. So yeah, you got a couple trades that are essentially going the same way. All right. So, again, this is not a trade I would take in real life, to be quite honest. Even though it could still retrace. But this is what I would do. Let me just show you guys off of a paper trade right now. So I would enter one here. Okay, stop loss would be right about here. And then I would have another entry. Oops. Let's make this a 1 to 2. And then I would have another entry for about my second area. I'd probably want to get in like right here, about right here, like that. So over here, I'd have another there, like that. This is how I would take the trade. And what this does for me is it maximizes my trades, right? So if I'm not sure about a trade, I won't go in with a full 1%. I would go in with 0.5% because I'm not too sure, or maybe even 2.5. 0.25. So that way, if I lose this entire trade, right? If this trade ends up going my way, I'll risk 0.5%, make 1 full percent, right? If it ends up kind of retracing, but I still feel strong about it, then one trade is going to give me a 1 to 2. The other one's going to give me a 1 to 4. So I'll end up with essentially like a 1 to 3 as opposed to just a 1 to 2. So that's how I would take it. Maximus said, I think a short long on US30, as you said, won't hurt. But if it's not according to your strategy, stay disciplined. Shout out to you, my boy. Absolutely. 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 It's best to always be disciplined no matter what. No matter what you're feeling like, be disciplined. So we can see what ends up happening with this trade. I'm going to keep this here. Everything looks super busy, guys. I apologize. Let me see if I can get rid of some things here. And essentially, let's get rid of some of these gaps and stuff here. And that'll make it a little bit cleaner. And then let's move these to the side and keep this one here. We'll keep this one here for now. In the meantime, we can take a look back at Euro JPY. Prices retracing back to this level. For me personally, what I'm looking at, if I'm going to get back into this zone or into this trade at all, let me just go back to the 1 hour real quick, because you always have to be mindful of what's happening on the left hand side as well as to where price may be able to stop you out. So for example, on the 1 hour, we can see we have this gap here. Okay, so as long as we're not touching that, we're kind of good for now. We can see over here that there's nothing else really to worry about too much because price has already kind of violated all those, so we're good. On the 15, however, which still is an important level, you can still see that there's like a little gap right there, and things of that nature. So I would kind of look at that and see what's going on here. But in terms of going up, I personally don't really have an entry. There's just nothing that I'm looking at, in my opinion, that is giving me the go ahead to get into a trade. However, you know what I mean? Marcus trades Forex. When you're familiar with a pair, when things don't look right to other people, it looks perfect to you because you know the pair. It's what it is for me with US30. I can show you guys some of the trades I took prior. This is the trade I took on Friday. Okay, price was also coming down in that regard. We ended up clearing a nice 1 to 2 there, you know, and I took a trade over here as well. Okay, this one here, look, you can see I got stopped out right here first, and then I ended up taking this one, and this one was like a 1 to 4. Right, so you just know. Here I was a bit early, and this was around 7 o'clock. And again, don't trade before your time. You know what I mean? Marcus said, sorry, K-Dot said, I've been waiting for Euro JPY to retrace, and then Marcus's comment just disappeared. So, all right, so let's see what happens. So far, I think it was Maximus. Yeah, Maximus. So far, we are at what are we at? Not even a 1-to-1. A 1-to-1 would be right about that line that you were waiting for a retracement to. So let's see if price gets back to that line. That would be very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Marcus said, just scalping, bro, on the 1 minute. Yeah, got you. Got you. No problem at all. For me, before I can take a position on the 1 minute, I still look at higher time frames, just because higher time frames factors, just they move the market more for me, at least for indices, right? So, sorry guys, I'm having breakfast now. If there was a order block, a gap, support and resistance, anything that you look for as a factor, as a point of interest on a higher time frame, it'll propel your trade way more, no matter what. Like, you can see setups all day on the 1 minute, but if you add a higher time frame, it goes crazy. But again, this is how I trade. Marcus trades differently and still makes money. As long as you're making money, people, that's all that matters. So let's see what happens here. There's some people that are going to be joining the live. I might go live tomorrow. I'll probably go live earlier, but last week, I think Marcus wasn't on, but last week we talked about this trade here. We did some trade breakdowns, and we talked about if we should enter here and take the trade up, or if we should still sell. And most people chose B. Most people are like, oh yeah, no, price should do this, right? Price should come up into this zone, go up a little bit, and then go down. I was looking at A, and I ended up taking the trade on A live, and it ended up hitting my 1 to 2. And as we can see, price has actually gone to this level, and it's looking to break this level. And the reason why, I took it was based on the things that I was looking at. There are criteria I look for that work for me. There are criteria you look for that work for you. For me, based on what I was seeing, this was still a buy for me. So they told me to come back, go live, and update them. So guys, if you're watching, if you get to this part in the live, this is what happened with the trade. They said, come back and update us. This trade, if we had sold, would have lost. All right, guys. So I hope you learned from that. So yeah, so for US30, this is what we're looking at for now. Let me see if I can find something on the way down. All right, let's get rid of some of these things here. And I'm just going to, for a brief moment, I'm going to get rid of this level. And no, you know what? This is what I'll do. Let me go to a different pair. Yeah, there you go. Different chart. This is cleaner. So obviously we have the absolutely obvious one here. You have this gap here. Now, in order for me to take a trade from this gap, price would really have to retrace a lot more than just this, like the edge of it right here. That's not enough for me. On top of that, even though price has, you know, broken and gone to this side, I'm still not convinced we're going down yet. Like, I need to see more bearish structure on the 15. You know what I mean? Maybe another break and violating more gaps, right? As it continues to go down, then I can say, okay, yeah, we're heading towards the downside and look for a trade. As of right now, it could be just a really strong reaction from this level, but nonetheless, price is still determined to go up. Because with indices, especially from my experience, indices, like it's a pair that just, they're instruments or pairs or whatever you want to call them that don't play. They don't play to, you know, they don't mind to come all the way here and then shoot up for like 5,000 pips up the next way. It doesn't matter. It'll do what it wants to do. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'll still be vigilant. and see if there's any more setups. As of right now, I'm kind of, if price would come down to this level, I'd be a little bit more happy. If price would come down to here, I feel like this would be a much better position for me. But we have 44 minutes left in this session, so we'll see how it goes. All right, the rest of you guys who are in here, what are you guys trading? Is everybody else doing US30 as well, or are you guys trading other pairs? Like, what are you guys trading for now? I know Marcus already said he was doing Euro JPY and GJ. Okay, somebody else was trading gold. We were looking at gold at a point. Where is it? Yeah, we were looking at gold. Okay, gold was going very bullish. Now it's retracing. Okay, there's a good chance it might find something in this area and go back up. What are you guys trading? Let's chop it up. What's going on? What is going on, people? What is going on? How's your week going so far? Gold and oil. Ryuzaki said gold and oil. Okay, so you're trading gold. Did you take any positions yet? Are you still waiting? What's your outlook on the week? For those of you guys trading other pairs, what is your outlook on the week? What do you think is going to happen for the week for the pair you're trading? Marcus said gold retraced a bit. Yeah, exactly. Gold is retracing a bit right now. So very interested to see what happens there. We do have this region, and this is why when you're in a trade, gosh, my mouse is glitching. This is why when you're in a trade, you still have to be mindful of the region you're in, because even though price is going bullish, it could be just trying to fill this gap all to go down. So, you know, it depends. K-Dot said Euro USD. Let's take a look at Euro USD. Euro USD. Interesting pair. This is the first pair I loved when I started trading Forex, right? When I first started, I didn't go to indices right away. I was trading Forex. Forex, the way it was moving for me didn't work out. US, like, indices match more my personality, my trading style. But this was the first pair. So I could just see right off the bat, obviously off the 1 hour, we can see we had a channel here. Okay, or a flag or whatever you guys want to call it. I'm not well versed in those terms. And then price broke above. Okay, so let's do a little bit some graphics here so we can kind of follow along. Boom, boom. Price went up. Okay, came down to retrace a little bit, went up this way, essentially went up this way, this way. So the question we got to ask ourselves when we're trading stuff like this, FC Mozart said he's still waiting for his setup. And Keda said, I'm relatively to Forex, so USD is just the first one. Oh, so you're relatively, I'm sure you wanted to say new in there. Got you. Yeah, when I was new, this is exactly what, like, it was just easier for me to understand, and the movement wasn't too rapid or crazy, so it was good for me. But okay, so let's take a look at what's going on here. This is what price is doing right now, okay? So right now we have price. In fact, let me just go to a higher time frame so we can get a better idea. So initially we were, look at this, price has been going sideways for a long time. And it's good. It's really important you guys understand how your pairs move. If it's a pair that usually consolidates, if it usually trends down, or if it usually trends upwards, it's good for you guys to understand. For the last, year or so, price has just been hovering in between these 2 points. Let me see if I can do, yeah, right here. Price has just been within this range. Okay, so within this range, it's been kind of consolidating. We've had price go up a little bit, down a little bit, up some more, down some more, up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down some more, up a little, right? So like it's kind of hard to get an overall direction of the pair. For me personally, with indices, I can take a look at it and see historically, it's a pair that goes up more than it goes down and more than it consolidates. But in this case, let's just look at the last couple months, okay? We can see that price, at least from this angle, just from this angle, we can see price was kind of more so going towards the downside. This is what was happening. Price was essentially doing something like this, right? Like it was going down, then up a little bit, then down some more. Kind of broke some structure up here, but then it went down and didn't break this low. So because this low was not broken, we are actually in a bullish trend because this low was not cleared. If this low was cleared, we can say we are bearish. This low was not cleared. It ended up forming this low, and how we know it's a higher low is because it broke this structure. So now we have a higher high that has retraced and has now produced a new higher high. So what does this mean? This means we are now bullish. So EURUSD right now is in a bullish trend. Even though it could be retracing to some points up here to go down, we still have to have the mindset or the bias that we are bullish. So let me get rid of this so that we can look at it a little bit better. So if I'm bullish now, this is what I'm looking at. I'm going down to the 1 hour and the 15, and I'm looking for areas in which I can price can retrace and I can scalp that, because I'm a scalper. I'm not a day trader or a swing trader. I'm a scalper. You have this massive region right here. Price already tapped into it. We talked about this in our other session as well. We were looking at this. We had a similar trade that we took last week, just like this. And we were asking ourselves, is this a good zone to go into, right? And usually when you have, if you have price go up like this, okay, up like this, up, whatever it's doing, it's whatever it needs to do. It taps here, but it doesn't break structure like off rip. Then it's not really the best zone. It can still be a really good zone because it hasn't been mitigated, so there might be some juice left in there. But when price really breaks structure, you know, when price returns here at some point, you can get a really nice push. Okay, so right now we are bullish. I'm looking for places to enter. I can see on the 1 hour, this is all that we've got so far. We also have this little one right there, like this super tiny this super tiny gap right here, right, that we can kind of keep an eye on. You can see prices kind of like pulled into these areas, pushed down a little bit, but it hasn't, again, really broken structure. So I'm going to go down to the 15 and I'm going to, again, start looking for areas. Outside of the areas that we drew, we can also see on the 15, we have a nice gap right here. So for me, this is my first choice. This is my preference right now. This is what I would be looking for price to get into. So I'd be waiting for a retracement down to this level, look for my entry on the 1 minute, and I would be taking it back up. That's how I would trade it. Wyra, thank you for joining. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Maximus said, I think indices will suit my trading style because I like pairs that trade in a trend for a long time. I like to swing trade. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Indices, they go up for the most part. Right now, the market's crashing, but when it's going really well. And then K-Dot said, I'm still waiting for highs to get broken on the 1 hour for me to think it's bullish. Okay, and this is, are you saying this about EURUSD? Because if you're saying this about EURUSD, I'm assuming you're waiting for price to take out, obviously, well, this is on the lower time frame, but like, you know, these levels here, right, before you can say it's bullish. For me, I've seen enough to think it's bullish. Because of my bias towards indices. On indices, this is, oh gosh, this is a dream come true. Get me into one of these zones and I'm eating for a hot minute. You know what I mean? Speaking of indices, let me actually, I don't want to lose this here. Actually, no, let's just go back to US30 real quick. Let's see what's happening. All right, so on US30, let's see what's going on here. So price on US30, we entered this paper trade to see what's going on. We're about to hit a 1-to-1. I used to kind of move my stops to break even after a 1-to-1. I don't really do that anymore. I either close my trade if I feel like something's wrong, or I just let it hit TP or stop loss. But right now, price is moving fairly well. It's not too bad. In terms of, yeah, so K-Dot say, yeah, on EURUSD. Yeah, so let's go back to EURUSD real quick to take a quick look here. We were at the 15. Yeah, there you go. So he's waiting for price to break these highs before he, you know, looks at it and says, okay, we're going bullish. And again, this comes down to trading personality. I have friends that trade just like that. They need price to be going up, you know, showing momentum before they hop into a buy. Whereas in me, I love when price is going down towards my zone. When price is coming down, I'm more happy because it means I'm going to get a really good entry and I can ride this trade, right, up to these levels. Because if these levels have to be broken, then I can essentially, let's say if I get in here, okay, put my stop loss, let's say something like that or whatever, just to be conservative, right? This is my first area of take profit. This is my second one. And all I have to do is close about maybe 50% to 80% at this level, let the rest run, move my stops to break even. That's all. Right? But granted, you're waiting for certain things to show up when price reaches that level. You're not just getting in. I used to trade like that where I would set pending orders at zones and just wait for price to get into that zone. And as soon as it gets into the zone, I'd enter in. Sometimes I win, but a lot of times I was losing because you need to wait for confirmation. So you need some sort of, you know, strategy or candlestick pattern, something you can identify before you hop into a trade. All right, so we're going to come back I'm going to set an alert so that we can, I'm going to say price is approaching your zone. That way, when price gets to that level, we can come back and check that out. Let's go back to US30. And then I also want to check out Euro JPY. So I remember Marcus said he was going to hop into that, hop into a buy. I don't know what his criteria is, but right off the bat, you can see if I have to choose somewhere to hop in, it would be from this area only because that's the gap closest to the push. All right, so that's where I would be looking to get in. Now, based on what has happened so far, would I get into this trade? Well, let's see. Price came down. All right, kind of went like that. And then, I mean, it looks like it just a little bit. And now it's doing this. Is this enough for me to get in? I don't know. Because I don't know Euro JPY, I wouldn't really, and it doesn't match my pattern. But considering this is the best entry, let's say as soon as price breaks this high, let's do this. As soon as price breaks this high, let's get in for a trade. Put our stops here and see what happens. Okay, we're going to aim for a 1 to 2. Let's see what happens there. Marcus said check the 1 minute. Got you. Yeah, I'm on the 1 minute right now. What's good, Marcus? Explain to us what you're looking at. If you want to, you don't have to, right? This is, trading's kind of personal, so you don't have to. Wire said I should make a cup of coffee. It's almost midnight in Bali. Oh, wow. Shout out to you for being up this late trading. You are a trooper, bro. Yeah, grab some coffee, chill with us. We'll be here till at least 11 because 11 is my cutoff time where I stop trading and then I go focus on my other businesses and stuff like that and get other things done. So we'll be here for at least another half hour. So if you'd like to join us, for sure. If you have work in the morning or something really crazy to do in the morning, please go to bed and save your strength. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I don't trade Tuesdays. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably go live earlier and then we can do some analysis together. So you guys can send me what you're trading and we can analyze them together and see what positions are best. All right. But for so far, we are looking at US30. All right, US30. So here's another thing that I want to talk to you guys about while you're here. It's easy to look at this and say, shoot, I should have got in. It didn't match my criteria. That doesn't matter. Because I can say, okay, the next time this happens, I'm getting in and what will happen? I'll lose. Because I haven't tested this enough to see if when price does stuff like this, if it works out my favor. Not to mention the trade hasn't even hit 1-to-1 yet, nor has it hit my overall TP. So you got to be disciplined and not, you know, like you have to resist the urge of FOMO. Just understand that you're gonna find a next setup. I took a trade today, I lost. I'm gonna find one on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and I'll make back what I lost and some. That's just how my weeks go, always. You know what I mean? And when I'm really winning, like I'm really winning, so it doesn't matter. Marcus said, I trade the trend EMA 89-144. It got touched, so I'm already in profit on my buys. That is amazing. Amazing. I'm gonna check it out in a second. Certainly that's a great setup providing we break the recent high. Okay, Maximus, are you referring to me or to Marcus's trade? And Marcus said, if you look at the 3 minute, it's a nicer low high too. All right, let's go back. All right, so yeah, here we go. We're in this trade. Okay, we're supposed to be in. We're supposed to be in at that level, so that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. And then as price retraces, we might get back in. But Marcus said we should look at the 3 minute. So let's do that. And he said on the 3 minute, you have a bit of a higher low. Is that what he said? The 3 minute, you have a nice higher low too. I see. Yeah. Because price broke that. There you go. Yeah, exactly. So this might be a good indication for a buy. So I hope you guys are learning, right? We were looking at US30 as well, but other people are able to share their analysis and their strategy. You know what I mean? I don't trade Forex, so I'm not well versed in that. But there are people on here that do. So I think it's just beautiful as a community for us to be able to chop it up, look at the charts together, enter trades together, the whole nine. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens here. I remember we were looking at gold as well. Let me go take a quick look at gold. Okay, so Maxim said he's referring to the trade on GJ. So let's look at GBP, I can't type, bro. Sheesh. GBP, All right, so earlier you said, where was it? I'm still waiting. Certainly, that's a great setup, providing we break the recent high. Okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to, so just refresh my memory. My fault if I can't remember. But in terms of recent high, we're on the 1 minute right now. Let's see what's going on here. So we have these highs. Oops, wrong one. We have these highs that have been broken, right? You had this high, then it was this high that was broken. Now we have this one. Okay, and then ultimately we're looking for price to break this zone and break this high. So I think what Maximus is saying is that as soon as he gets a break of a high, he's looking to enter some position. Referring to the trade on GG. Oh yeah, okay, that was the last one. He said, oh, that's KDOT. Now KDOT said, I always thought Euro JPY was going to go down because it seems like it's been pushing up for too long. So that's interesting. I love when people say that, only because you can never tell, right? Like, I get what you're saying in theory, like, okay, we've been pushing up for a long minute. For me personally, this is what I mentioned earlier. I think it was on GJ that I did this. Yeah, there you go. So GJ and UJ are moving the same way. This is how I did my analysis on GJ. I said, okay, based on what I'm seeing, if this were indices, I'm anticipating a push from here. Okay, I'm anticipating that price is going to shoot down at some point because of the region we're in and the way that price built its way up. When price is trending correctly, you see it like this. You see how it's just going down with some force and like the retracements aren't even that wide. You get like a strong push. Okay, and when price is going up, same thing. You can see how strong and steady it went up. When you see prices retracing or going up and it's doing a lot of these zigzags, it means price is compressing, consolidating, and eventually it's just slowly climbing to an area where whether the banks or the algorithm or whatever you want to call it is looking to enter at some point here, whatever the case is, and it's looking to take everyone down to the downside. Okay, so that's how I was looking at it. So I'm saying all this to say I agree with your analysis of going down because that's how I would look at it. However, Marcus mentioned that he's scalping. So he's looking at it like, from a very small window and he can see opportunities to buy. Not only that, as much as we believe that price should go down, what's to say that price doesn't give us one of these? I've seen that happen so many times, right? So I used to say the same thing like, yo, price has been going up for a hot minute. It has to come down. Not necessarily. And indices taught me that really well. Indices can go up for 100 years and never touch the floor. And you know how people say like, oh, gaps in the market have to be filled? Not with indices. Indices can leave gaps behind all day, every day and never return to that spot. Ever. Right? So I get what you're saying. I see the technicals of it. I'm just saying like, don't ever enter a trade based on you saying, man, it's going too high or it's been going down too long. Just follow what price is telling you and you'll be blessed 9 times out of 10. All right. So GJ, let's go. Sorry. Should I even call it UJ? Euro JPY. Let's just call it like that. Euro JPY right now. And I'm sure probably if Marcus is scalping, his stops are probably not this wide. Maybe maybe his stops are more like, okay, whatever. This thing's not allowing me. Maybe his stops are more like somewhere here, maybe somewhere there. You never know, right? So maybe he entered here instead. Like you never know. Right? People trade differently and that's the beauty of it. As long as we all make money, that's cool. What I don't like in the trading community is when everybody's like bashing other strategies. Oh, you're a retail trader. Oh, you're not making money. You're what they say, your stop loss is my entry. Ha ha ha. Or your stop loss is my take profit. Bro, just go on YouTube. The best traders on YouTube trade like flags, trend lines. Not everybody's trading SMC. If you trade SMC, you trade ICT, you trade retail, trade whatever works for you. This is not a competition. Okay, and if it was a competition, it would be you versus you, not you versus other traders. Even though there's another trader on the other side who's technically taking your money, it's more so about you, right? So I think it's a beautiful thing about trading that we can all just get in here, look at things differently, and still make money. Maximus says, was it your JP1, the one we just entered? Yeah, the one we just entered was your JPY. Oi. So yeah. Awesome. So what's you guys' outlook on the week? What are you guys hoping to make for the week in terms of targets? For me personally, I'm trying to aim for at least 5%. If I get 2 to 3 setups a week, I hit 5%. That's what I'm hoping for. Recently, the trades have been like once a week, maybe twice a week. It hasn't been great. And of those trades, I've been losing like one, winning one. So I'll lose like 0.5%, make a full percent, or I'll lose 1%, make 2%. And I don't know. I just kind of want to get out of that rut. I want to start hitting those. I was a couple months ago, I was literally making I made like 13% in, it was like 2 weeks or something like that. That's where I was. That's where I was in terms of trading. Now it's crazy. Your stop loss is my TP is funny. Yeah, man. People say some crazy things. It's kind of like, there's a way that people behave when, I hate to say, but they've kind of been losers their whole life. So what happens is that when things start to go well for them in some aspect, in some category, in some other area of their lives, they want to just put everyone down. It's almost like their payback. Like, it's not necessary. If your stop loss, if my stop loss is your entry, good for you. But you making fun of me or trying to put me down isn't going to help you. At the end of the day, if I'm winning still, that's all that matters. Like, some people will take this same trade here, let's say, and one person will make $5. Another person will make $50. Another person will make $50,000. Okay? Because it depends on the sizing of the trade. It doesn't matter. Like, not everybody who's making thousands of dollars a trade is hitting 1 to 8. Some people are hitting 1 to 1. I think it's Doyle Exchange. He does a lot of 1-to-1 trades and still makes like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a trade. It really doesn't matter. So people just talk crazy. Your stop loss is my entry. Ha ha ha. Good for you, buddy. Tell me you peaked in high school without telling me you peaked in high school. Jack Rumble said, did you take the trade on EJ? Not physically, because I don't trade Forex. I came here to show what I was doing on US30, but some people in the chat were trading Euro JPY and looking at GBP JPY, so we decided to do that. And I said, based on how I trade indices, this is where I would have entered on Euro JPY. Okay. Marcus, do you want me to share it? I just saw your message. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. Marcus is in some good profit right now. He's in some good profit. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Wyra said this picture is the confirmation for a small time frame. Which picture? The thumbnail or what we're looking at right now? Help me out there a little bit, Wyra. Maximus said I'm up 9% with the trade on gold from the 15-minute time frame. I had another position but low risk. Bro, shout out to you. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I always say this, man. Some of the best traders out there aren't even on YouTube. Some people are really skilled. I have a friend that trades. I always say this. I think he's better than me. He is crazy with it. You know what I mean? With the way he trades and how he's able to catch snipers. Some people are really good, man. And I think it's just beautiful when we can come together and just kind of learn from each other. That's awesome, bro. Shout out to you, Maximus. That is fire. Kida said, I feel like that's with most of the people who trade algo. That's having, interactive. Yeah. Especially when you go to like forums on Reddit. Reddit is like the pit of hell, bro. It's just nobody there seems to be happy on Reddit. Somebody actually did an experiment where they were like, when you go on Reddit and you ask for help, people either ignore you or try and trash you. He's like, but if you go on there and say that this is how a certain thing's done, people will actually give you the real secret sauce because they're so eager to correct you. So he started posting stuff saying like, so say for example, he wanted to know the best way to enter this trade. He would do something like this. He would be like, okay, my entry is like here, you know what I mean? My stop loss is like here and my take profit is like here, guys. This is what I think is the best way to trade, right? That's what he would say. And people would comment like crazy, like, yo, you're an idiot. Actually, you should actually enter here and go over here. This is a 1 to 8. So he started following and he was making money. So it's really crazy. Twitter is a bit of the same way, or X. People just go on there to complain, talk trash to each other, show off. It's weird. I'm not active on Twitter. I just don't see the use in it for now. So yeah, I understand when you say that's how it's been. Marcus said no need. Okay, cool, Marcus. No worries. I won't post it. The picture that we see, what we see at screen. Okay, if this is what you're talking about, what we're seeing here, you asked me, is this on a small time frame? Yeah, this is on a 1 minute time frame. If you're asking me based on what we're looking at right now, this is on a 1 minute time frame. Then Divine Gist said, I'm new here, please. I need a guide. All right, listen, let me just say this right now. I'm not no guru. I'm not no mentor. I'm a student of the game just like y'all. But I just share my experience in my trading because I think it's healthier, or at least better for us as a trading community to see that not everybody's out here making 100K a trade. The reality of trading is that, you will have times where you're going through a losing streak and sometimes where you have a great winning streak. And trading is more about discipline psychology. So I'm just showing people what the reality of trading is. But I will do my best to show you how I trade, what I look for. So if you want to join us every time we go live, and I'm going to try and start. I can't speak, guys. I'm going to try to start streaming when I'm about to enter into a trade. That way we can kind of all look at. It's not a signal. This is not a signals group, bro. There's no signals. As you can see, it's a free live. But if it helps you out, then it helps you out. All right. So welcome. Thank you for joining, Divine. And I hope you learned something from these lives that we're doing. Jack Rumble said, I want to ask, don't you think price might not move far because of how deep the pullback is? Absolutely. I hear that. The pullback is mad deep. So there's a good chance it may not reach this. But here's what I do with trading. Because of how indices move, I've learned that when you enter a position based on past data, probability, and how the pair itself moves, set your targets and just let it roll. Like if you keep interfering with your trade, you'll chop up your risk to reward and then your profits. And what happens is that when you go on a losing streak, you don't have that much to recover. Now, that's me. Jack Rumble might be so efficient and proficient at Euro JPY that he might be like, nah, I've seen this 100 million times. Price is probably going to retrace to somewhere over here, right? And then shoot down. And he might be 1,000% right. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say you guys have to figure yourselves out, figure out a strategy that works for you, and then stick to it. For me, the reason why I wouldn't close this trade or even move my stops to break even is because my strategy tells me don't. Let the trade ride. If it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss. If it hit take profit, it hit take profit. You have to be okay with the fact that it's a probability game, and if you lose, you lose. But if you win, you're going to win. If you're risking at least a 1 for a 1 to 2, you are blessed, okay? You'll be fine. You just need to be right half the time, and you'll be all right. But I say this to say that, Jack, I absolutely understand your point. Marcus said, So I don't know what he was laughing at. Maybe it's because of what we said about Twitter or whatever the case is. But, you guys get my point. Like, people on these forums can be kind of crazy. Wire said, last day you say we must make confirmation first with higher time frame. Yeah, absolutely. So, listen, this trade that we took, I didn't really analyze, okay? We were just in there because Marcus was in there. And I was saying that if I was going to hop into a trade here, it'd probably be off the break of this just because price came down, touched this level here for me, right? Which I believe was a small gap on the 15-minute, which is a higher time frame. There you go. So it was off of this level on the higher time frame here. Price, this is what we had. We had price come all the way up here, right? Consolidate a little bit and then shoot out this area. And from that area, there was a gap created. So I looked at this gap and said, okay, this is where I would like to enter if price does retrace. So it was off of this higher time frame that I said, okay, when price gets back to this level and gives me my pattern, I would enter. It didn't really give me my pattern, but it kind of broke structure a little bit. So I hopped into the trade anyways. This is a paper trade, so it's not real. As you can see, it's only like, we're risking like, what, $9 to make 14 or whatever, which means my risk reward is off. Oh, it's because of my entry. My entry is supposed to be here. Instead, it's up here. So technically, this should be, oops. Man, sometimes I feel like I'm getting too old for technology. All right, so technically this should be our risk to reward. It should be like this so that it's a correct risk to reward, okay? But yeah, so don't take this trade too seriously. It's not how I would actually trade, nor would I trade on this pair altogether, all right? Cool, he said, I see. K-Dot said, would intuition be similar to data mining? That's interesting. Can you explain a little bit more what you mean by that just before I give you my answer? Marcus said, I'm out personally, bro, just scalping. Sweet. So Marcus is already out the trade. He's gone. He's already made his money. He's blessed. Don't like that volume is low. Yeah, that's why I don't trade after 11, especially because volume dies down. I have no interest. And then M said US30. Yeah, we can go back to US30. Let me show you the trade that we were just in. Where are we at? Right here. So US30. Okay, so we've hit a 1-to-1. So let's see if we can get a nice 1-to-2 eventually. And for M, just in case you're wondering how this went about, we basically waited for price to get down to a 15-minute zone per se. Okay, so as you can see, my chart is super messy, man. Forgive me. It's like all over the place. But essentially, we just waited for price to get to this 15-minute gap here. We had a couple because even though price is, pushing strongly, like with strong bearish volume, at the same time, based on how I trade indices and what I know it to do, you can still catch really good retracements to the upside even in a strong bearish trend. So what I did was I waited for price to get to one of these two zones. It happened to be this one first. Gave me a little bit of the pattern that I look for. Broke structure. I entered, aiming for a 1 to 2. All right, so I hope that helps you kind of catch up to what we are doing. And at this point, if you're somebody who, like, you know, right now we're up a 1, 2. Oh gosh, I hate when this thing happens. Right now we're up a, let me just, man. Essentially, we're up above, you know, a 1 to 1.5. Then Maximus said the rejection on the 15-minute on the European is strong enough to give a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 for a quick scalping. Got you. I'm gonna check that out in a sec. M say yes sir. I'm in a buy now, up 400. Should I get out? Guys, I don't want this to be a signals thing because I'm not a professional, guys. I'm literally a student of the game. I'm learning like you guys, but I'm just sharing my trading experience. I am a profitable trader. I have passed challenges and I have gotten payouts. For me personally, this is the way I trade, M, and I hope it helps you out. When I take a trade, I either let it hit take profit or hit stop loss. If I'm iffy about the trade, I'll move my stops to break even. At this point, I'll tell you right now, it's about to be 11 o'clock. My cutoff time for trading US30 and all indices is 11 because I found when I did research that if there's going to be a reversal, it usually happens at 11 if it doesn't happen in the normal New York session between 8 to like 10 o'clock. So by 11, I try to get out my trade. I would say this, look at the candlestick patterns and see if price starts respecting the bearish gaps. So let me give you an example. We've had gaps here. One second. Bearish fair value gap. So we've had gaps here. Okay. Then we had another gap here. All right. What did price do? Price violated this gap, hasn't really respected it. The next gap is up here. So I would say wait and see how price responds. You see how it's like it violated this gap, but now it's using the same gap as an area to go up. You can still, in my opinion, stay in the trade. If you get up here and price starts acting funky, pull the trigger, get out. You're already up 400. Probably by here, you might be up 5, maybe 6. Take what you got to take. All right. K-Dot said, as someone who has looked at trading algos, from my understanding, intuition is knowing the market's based on seeing that things have happened before that. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. That, like, you know, and this is why I say that I trade the way I do on US30s, because of all the years and studying and forward testing, back testing, I've learned to really just feel out the market, understand, but I still don't trade with my intuition. And I'll tell you why. A lot of my best trades, if you go and watch some of my trading series, a lot of my most sniper entry trades were the trades where I thought, I feel based on my intuition, that trade is going to take me out. And it didn't. Hit my entry to the tick, shot right up. Okay, so I don't rely on intuition. I set up systems so I don't botch my trading. I don't want to be thinking about my trade, thinking it goes well, it doesn't go well, because you know what happens when I keep thinking, man, I should have gotten and I didn't? I'll start entering trades that I think I should get into just to kind of redeem myself from the ones I didn't. And then I'll enter into a slump and say my strategy doesn't work. Then I'll start hopping to another strategy. I have been there a million times, guys. I don't trust myself when it comes to trading. I set systems up. I follow the systems to the death of it. Death before dishonor type thing, right? So that's why I do what I do. But I hope that kind of clears things up for you, K. Dot. He said, and if you mine data, you would also see patterns on what happened before. Absolutely. Listen, whether you mine data, collect it different, however you do it, when you accumulate enough data, whether in your mind, in your system, you will develop a right intuition, pattern recognition, all these things towards these things, right? And you as a trader, we will have to make a decision as to how to use that information to your advantage. For me, I set up a system with it and don't touch the system. Marcus Adrian said, nice trade on US30, even though it didn't meet all the criteria. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So this is not something I would personally take because it didn't meet my criteria, and that's okay. The one that did meet my criteria lost, but that's fine because we still have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't trade Tuesday. That gives me 3 more days, but I'll get another setup. And all it takes is one good setup, right? And I'll make back what I lost and more. That's trading. You don't have to, stress yourself for sure. M said, I respect it. That's what's up, M. Wire said, your pattern can use in gold. I believe so. I think we can maybe try and see what would happen on gold, but I haven't personally tried it out on gold. And then M said, I put my stop loss in profit. That's awesome. So you see what's happening here, M? This is what US30 might do. If you see US30 doing this, right, and it's starting to do this and it's starting to break, wait to see how it responds here. And then you can either close the trade or sometimes price will do that and just shoot back up. This happens all the time. Oops, I'm trying to get rid of it. Yeah, this happens all the time, right? But just kind of monitor this and see. And if you start to see that price is forming 1 minute gaps, see if it's respecting the gaps on the way out. Once it starts to violate those gaps, it might be time for you to, kind of hop off the trade. But use your discretion, okay? This is not professional advice. This is not a signal. I'm just sharing my thoughts on your trade. Jack Rumble deleted his message, but he'll probably say what he has to say later on. M said true. K Dot said it seems like every way of trading is just another method. To be honest, like nothing is, that Bible verse that says there's nothing new under the sun. That's really what it is. Like a lot of these terms that we're familiar with now, they're all kind of similar. They're just different ways that people look at it. I'll give you an example. There's another thing in SMC that before I even came across it, or ICT, it's called an inversion gap. I already understood an inversion gap, but I just didn't call it that. I called it something else. I'll give you another example. When I first started trading, one of the things I looked at heavily were consolidation. I'll try and find an area where there's consolidation. Let me see. Okay, so we'll just use this for now. It's not the greatest because it kind of leans downwards. But let's just say this is a period of consolidation, right? I noticed, this is the first thing I noticed when I started trading. There's a lot of times where this happens, and once it consolidates, it breaks through. I noticed that there's this period at some point in the chart where price will just do this, and once it pushes out, it starts to go crazy. So that was my first trading style. I would just buy. In this case, I would be selling and try to make money, and if it went up, I would try to buy, right? And so I didn't know it was called consolidation, but I recognized the chart pattern. And so a lot of people who have, I guess, been teaching, they've coined these terms themselves, and people think that they're all different when in reality they're not really. A lot of them are very similar. Support and resistance isn't necessarily supply and demand, but they're really closely related. You know what I mean? And essentially, whatever term you call it doesn't even matter as long as you make money with it. That's my whole 2 cents. I just think people are weird when they're trying to put other people down because of what they trade. They think they found the Holy Grail. The people who found the Holy Grail are at the banks. Period. They're the ones who found the Holy Grail. All of us are retail traders just trying to use technical analysis with some fundamentals and make money in these markets. That's all. Whew. All right. Bob FX said, yo, bro, what's up with the Forex funder? Do you know if they're a scam and do they pay out? My boy putting me in the hot seat. No, I'm just kidding. With the Forex funder, this is my honest opinion. I literally started this trading series with them because everybody said they were a scam. I'm like, okay, let's see if they are. Let me get a payout, reach the point of a payout. And if they deny me, I can go on YouTube and say, yeah, these guys are scams. They don't pay. What ended up happening is that, as you can see, migration after migration after migration, I'm just so turned off. I barely trade the account. That's all that's happening. And I'm going to show you guys in the next update video. I was taking a bunch of trades that I wouldn't even trade. I was trading on the 15-minute, the half hour, the 1 hour, the 1 minute. I was all over the place because I don't feel like they're going to pay out. To be quite honest, I'm not interested in them. That's number one. Number two, everyone that has reached out to me on YouTube and on Instagram has said one of two things. I've been waiting for a payout before March and the migration, or after the migration, I made profit. They still haven't been paid out. Nobody has been able to say, hey, I've been paid out. By the way, M, if you're in the trade still, look what's happening. Price is about to hit this TP that we set. So right now, as of right now, you're good. We have 6 minutes till 11 o'clock. So do with that what you will. But we're pretty much still going towards the upside. This is the next zone that you have to kind of worry about and see what happens. But yeah, so with the Forex funder, as of right now, based on how they are performing and the way they're behaving, it seems to be a scam because nobody is confirming they've been paid out, but they're posting that people are being paid out. I don't know, man. So for me, here's my personal opinion. If you are considering buying anything from them, do not do it at all. At all. Don't buy a sticker from the Forex funder. Don't buy anything with them, because they have a horrible track record. They migrate us almost every month. These guys are just crazy. All right. Jack Robles said, what has been your longest losing streak? Actually, recently, because I was doing all this nonsense with the Forex funder, I had it wasn't 6 trades. It was more like 3 or 4 trades, but some of them I entered 2 positions. So I had like 6 trades in a row that lost. That was the worst. And then right after that, I won 7 days in a row. So you know what I mean? And then Jack Rumble said, as a day trader, do you still have negative months? No. All my months so far have been minimum break even, minimum. For the most part, they've all been positive because of how I trade. But did I have negative months before? Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. But remember, we're still like, the year's not over. We don't know, right? Things change. No condition is permanent. No strategy is perfect. Everything has weaknesses. So there might be a month where I do have a really horrible trading month and it doesn't go my way. But I'm just trying to say this to say I'm not perfect and my strategy is not the holy grail. Okay, it's just I just happen to be doing well. There was a time, I think this was last year, where man, almost every trade was winning, almost every single one, because the market just kept going up. You can't really lose when the market keeps going up. You know what I mean? So do with that what you will. But very good question, Jack. K-Dot said, because I've noticed a lot of watching this, that a lot of the methods can be translated to ICT. Yeah, because ICT has a lot of strategies and terms and systems coined, right? He calls, like, for example, with these things here, he coined fair value gap, he coined order blocks, he coined all these different terms. But also, from what I understand from previous research, apparently a lot of those strategies he learned from other people. He just coined the term, right? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but I do get what you're saying about like how a lot of them can fall into ICT's terminology or the methodology and stuff like that. Again, for my whole view is like whatever works for you, man. But yeah, M say, yes sir, I'm out, book profits, bro. Round of applause. Marcus made profits today. M made profits today, guys. Clap it up for them. Put a fire emoji in the chat, because some of us are winning today. I took a loss today, but doesn't mean we can't celebrate other people for winning. So Marcus and M, both M and M, shout out to you guys for making some money today. That's awesome. Maximus said, what are your thoughts on Aquafunded? So Aquafunded, I haven't tried. But you guys, to be quite honest, you know, Marcus is in the chat. We're working on some things, but eventually I don't mind taking a challenge with these companies and just doing some live streams and seeing how it goes. And if they pay us, they pay us. And if they don't, they don't. You know what I mean? And then we can kind of determine if these guys are legit or not. But there's a lot of shady people out there, man. A lot of shady people. I want to say this before I touch more of the stuff in the chat. But you guys, you see this part right here where price is almost at TP? This is the hardest part of trading. This is where a lot of people close. I hold mine. I do my best to hold mine. I will only pull out if like there's some things that just, you know, show me that, you know, technical wise, you should hop out the trade. But for the most part, I just walk away from my trade and I let it go. And if I come back and the trade is here, I will hold my trades. I will hold my trades. You have to learn to hold. But if you're starting out or you're new, book the profits, bro. Do what M did. Take your money and go. Take what the market gives you, because you can ask Marcus. Marcus laughs at this all the time. He'd be like, bro, I've seen you take trades where you're up like so much and you'll let it come all the way back down to take you out. Not even at break even, like your whole stop loss. I'm like, bro, it's how I trade. So do what you got to do. Bob FX said, my question is, do I continue trading with them or switch props, and what prop should I use? Here's the, man, it's hard. Again, this is not professional advice, just my thoughts. This is what I would honestly say. When it comes to prop firms, go with the ones that have the most longevity of payouts, right? And just like no hiccups. That's obviously FTMO, 5%ers. Those two are at the top. Are they more expensive? Absolutely. But you get what you pay for. Everybody else that has come into the trading space in the last 2-3 years, I can't vouch for them because they don't have enough track record for me to say, oh yeah, this is, you know, legit. Even though I've been funded with some other firms, I don't want to vouch, because when this whole migration stuff happened, a lot of firms are affected, and based on how a lot of them acted, I can't stand behind anybody at this time. So I would say your best bet is to go to something like FTMO. If with Aqua, if you feel like things are off, remember, it's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. At least try and finish out. At least try and, that's what I'm doing with the Forex Fund. As much as I hate the process, at least try and get a payout. And if they pay you out, praise God. If they don't, praise God. But this is what I've done. I've connected some of my accounts to a copy trader. That way I'm making money as I, like, if I take a trade on here, it'll take a trade, let's say on this chart. And if one of them doesn't pay me, the next one will. So at least I'm still making money. But if all my eggs are in the basket of the Forex Fund, then yeah, that's a little tough. At that point, I would say look elsewhere. And do your due diligence and make sure you're going with companies that have a good track record, good reviews, and use, you know, prop for match and tools like that to help you kind of make a better decision. Let's see here. Maximus said, thanks, Market. So which one have you tried and will recommend? Oh, because Marcus said Aqua is from Blue Guardian, owner of TFT. LOL, don't do it. Okay, so there you go. So Marcus is very well versed in these things, because if you go to his channel, you see he does a lot of like exposés and stuff like that on these firms. So he can say with confidence what's really going on. Plus, he talks to a lot of people behind the scenes. So he's well informed. For me, I'm a newbie in these things, so I can't really say. But Marcus said from his advice, Aqua isn't it. So Bob, I hope that answered. Was it Bob or who was it that? Oh, it was Maximus. Yeah, so Maximus, I hope it answers your question. Bob FX said, and how do I use a FVG properly? I keep getting inversed. Oh, this is a beautiful question. Let's touch on that a little bit. How to correctly use an FVG. This is amazing. Amazing. We're about to hit TP. If it does, it'll give me the notification. I'm going to go to a chart where there is nothing on there. Is there anything on here? A couple. I'm going to clear this so that we can do this together. Okay, cool. How do we properly use an FVG? Wonderful question. I will show you exactly how. Here's the thing you need to know about fair value gaps. They work best in the direction of the trend. I know it sounds so basic, like, well, duh, but it's the truth, okay? When you try to use a fair, so I'll give you an example. If we're going, let's go, in fact, let's go to random. Where is it? Let's go to replay. Let's type this. Let's go. No, hold on a sec. Hold on. I have to go to the 1 minute. Yeah, so let me close this out again. Because I'm going to eventually go to the 1 minute. That's why I want the replay tool to go far back somewhere on the 1 minute. Okay, where are we at right now? July. Okay, perfect. All right, so it's July. Let's take a look at the trend real quick before we do anything else, all right? So we have to understand where we are in the markets. Right now, the market has gone up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Broken down a little bit, all these different structures here, gone up a little bit, right? And so essentially, where are we at? This is perfect, all right? So what we have is price is basically trending towards the upside. We have a couple data points that we need to look at. We have up here. Oh, there you go. I think we just hit TP, guys. Let me just go real quick. I'm going to answer your question real quick, but wait. What alert did I just get? Price has tapped into bearish. Oh, that's on NQ. My fault, guys. I completely botched this whole thing just for that. All right, so we have a couple of data points that we have to look at over here. All right, so we have that one here, and then we have this one here, right? Now, obviously, this was cleared by here, so we can get rid of that. Now, when it comes to on the downside, this is the last higher low, okay? Then we had another, then we had another lower high, but then it was broken by this high. Now, is this considered a higher high? No, because at this point. So this is still technically, it's like, think of it this way, a lower, either this is going to end up as a lower high or a higher high. And the reason why we can't call anything too much is because this move here, right, is still forming. All it's doing is this, and we don't know if it's going to break or if it's going to stop somewhere here and continue down. So price can only be confirmed, or this area can only be confirmed as a higher high, or sorry, lower high, when it either breaks this or here. Okay, so it has to break this level or this level. So right now, based on what we're seeing, we can say, okay, price is going towards the upside. We're overall bullish. So that means we're looking for bullish fair value gaps, okay? So if we're looking for gaps, we're not going to be looking for gaps towards the downside, even though you can see price is reacting to them. They don't matter too well because we know we're going towards the upside. Now, if price breaks here, we can start looking at it. But for now, we can keep them in mind and say, okay, there's a bearish gap here. But for the most part, because we're bullish, we're looking for places to enter. In example, places like this. Or, 1 second, let me change this real quick. Or places like this, okay? So in order to use the fair value gap properly, when price is respecting the gaps on the way up, that tells you price is bullish, okay? So in a bullish trend, you don't want to be looking at bearish gaps, okay? You want to be looking at bullish ones. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I had a habit in the beginning. You see how I always mark both? I had a habit of saying, oh, okay, there's one here, there's one here. Right now I kind of see where it's rejecting. Let me get into this one instead. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get into this trade. I'm going to enter here, put my stops above the gap here. And you know what would end up happening? It would stop me out. Why? Because we're still bullish. So even though this is a bearish gap that can give you a tiny retracement, we're not looking at those. So if you're getting inversed where price is, let's say, and what he means by that is, unless you can correct me if I'm wrong, price came up to this gap, right? Kind of went down, ended up going above, and then used it as like a springboard to continue to go even higher. Okay. When you have cases like that, it's because we're still bullish. And this was just a minor area of resistance, but price was eventually going to plow through. So in this case here that we can see we're going bullish, when you go down to the smaller time frames, you start looking at areas of entry. Now, this type of, what's it called? This type of candlestick, what's the word I'm looking for? Price action. There you go. Gosh, I can't think. This type of price action may kind of concern you for you to think we're going towards the downside. And yes, we'll get a bit of retracement, but overall, these are the ones we're supposed to look at. So how can we use them on lower time frames? So in this case here, what time is it? It's Wednesday 13. Okay, I'm going to zoom to a time where I would get into the markets because I trade New York session. So it's 7 o'clock. So this is perfect. It's 7 o'clock. My job now is to identify fair value gaps on higher time frames that are going to be good springboards for me to enter. So I can see here on the 15, we have this zone here. We have this zone here. We have another one right above it. Okay. And I don't personally like to take the ones that are in the process of forming or really recently formed, but we still have to look at it. So let's go down to the 15-minute. When we go down to the 15-minute now, we can see in this move that is occurring, I'm actually going to get rid of this big gap here so we can see. In the 15-minute with this move that's occurring, the only gaps we have, we can see this one here actually coincides with this. So that could be a good confirmation. And then we have this one here that kind of coincides with that. And then lastly, we have this gap here. Okay, there's one that recently formed, but it's kind of being filled. So what I would do now is I go to the 1 minute. I wait for price. I don't trade before 8:30. Okay, it's 8:10, 8:11. Price is moving. Price is moving. Now, mind you, let's keep this in mind so we can understand what's happening. This is not what I'm going to take no matter what happens here, but it's just for us to have a visual. So at this point, price is moving. Oh, it's July 4th. That's a terrible day to. I'm sorry, guys. This is the 4th of July for the United States. So the market's going to be horrible. But let's just continue to see what happens. 9 o'clock. Yeah, it just shoots up from there. It's not really doing much. What time is it? 9:30 yet? Okay, let's see what happens. 9:26. Okay, cool. 9:30. Perfect. So price now has violated these gaps. Do we get scared and think that price is bearish? No. Price loves to retrace, especially after a big expansion. Let's see what happens at these zones and take it from there. All right, cool. So these gaps were ignored. And the only way these things can really keep you can keep losing trades. Let me just go back a little bit. I'll show you. The only way you can lose trades is if you trade like this. I'll show you. So you say, okay, as soon as price gets here, I'm entering, right? Putting my stops below the recent low. So let's see what happens. Let's see, we just buy just to see what happens. Oops, my fault. It entered late. Okay, no problem. Let's say, so that's one loss. Okay, let's say we're going to do the same thing here. Put our stops here. We've entered here as well. Okay. That takes us out, right? If you keep just putting pending orders or entering as soon as you get to your zone, that's how you're going to misuse the gaps. You need to wait for confirmation. You need to wait for price to show you it respects this gap, that this is a gap that it plans to use as a springboard. So now here we are at 9:30. Price has pushed all the way down. It's violated these two. 1, 2. They're both gone, okay? Now we have these two left, okay? Let's see. Well, it's kind of violated this one. So let's see what happens in this region. We get a bullish engulfing candle. That's a good sign. I personally wait for a pattern because this can go back down the other way. And it's July 4th, so price could be acting weird. We wait for price to go down, okay? And for that day, it looks like nothing happened for us. We're out. That's fine, okay? You're going to get days where price doesn't respect the gap. On a day like July 4th, not much is really going to happen, okay? Let's go to the next day. I don't trade Tuesday, so I'm going to skip Tuesday. So let's go over to Thursday. Oh, wow, we kind of went far. So let's do Friday then, I guess. Friday at 7 o'clock. Okay, perfect. Remember, even though we're seeing bearish, because you can see, as some people like to point out, a head and shoulders forming. And now it's about to break, I guess, this neckline or whatever. Well, this is the neckline right there. So it's broken the neckline. So it means we might be doing that. With indices, not so. With indices, before you really start taking sells, you want to wait for some things because overall, on the higher time frame, you can see that we do have larger areas where price has bounced off of, and you want to take those. So anyways, let me go down just a little bit to show you what's going on. Let's go back to the 15-minute. We have this area up here, and we do have this small area right there. So this is all I'm waiting for, one of those two areas. Let's draw this real quick. And I'm going to try and make this example super quick because I want to get back to the chat. People, so much has happened. Okay, let's see. Gosh, I missed a lot. Book profits, aqua funding. How do you, and then thanks for Marcus. Fires in the chat. I have 2 accounts. Awesome. Prop for match. I can give you the answers. What's your thoughts on NCD CAD? Looking to push up. Have you ever heard of Power of 3? I actually have Bob FX and FX Morpheus. We're going to look into that real soon. That's what I trade. Keep getting inversed. Okay. I just closed 1 position on gold. And then, nice. And people are congratulating each other. Awesome. 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 All right. So let me just finish with this example here and we'll get back to everything else. It's 11, by the way. So my trading session is officially finished. But let's see what's going on. All right. So 8 o'clock, I don't take trades until 8:30. And we can see here that we have news. Okay. We have news here at 8:30. We have NFP. Oh, God. You can still trade around NFP. You just have to be careful. All right. Not trade the news itself. I don't trade news. All right, cool. Look what happened. Price tapped exactly into this. Now, if you're new, you're going to look at this and be like, oh, this is why we start putting pending orders at these gaps. Because we're like, oh, man, if I had a pending order right here, right? Gosh, I hate when it does that. If I had a pending order right here and my stops were right here, look what I would have made in that one candle. That's not realistic. The same way it shot up this way, it could have shot up that way. What you need to wait for is confirmation that price is determined to go up in this direction. Let's see what happens with the next candle. All right, it starts to push down, It's 8:30. Price is still doing what it does, right? And then 9:30 is our next move. All right, so at 9:30, it's 9:15 now. I want to see if there are any other gaps we could possibly look at. There is another gap right here. Okay, I personally wouldn't take this, but I just want to show you how to use the gaps. But we have another one right here. Let's see if we get some sort of confirmation for us to go in. Okay, boom, there we go. 9:30 hits, it comes up, it goes down into the next level. Okay, cool. Now we're getting price going down, up, down, up. Here's where you can start. Once you see prices coming down and somewhat breaking structure or changing structure, this is not my strategy. I wouldn't enter here because it's not enough for me. You can do things like this. You can see that price has used this gap and may be determined to go towards the upside. I personally wouldn't take this because price came down, went up, formed a little bit of a, not even a lower low, it just kind of came down a little bit and then went back up. That's not enough for me. I would like to see price give me an extreme lower low, break that lower high, and then enter for the trade to go towards the upside. Okay, but let's see what would have happened. All right, there you go. So that's why I wouldn't take the trade, right? So I'm saying all this to say that you have to wait for confirmation. When a gap shows up, you're going to first wait to see what happens. You're going to wait for a change of character, break of structure, something that tells you price is determining to use that. Because with indices, as you can see, these 9:30 candles are equivalent to news candles in some Forex pairs. They move wildly. That whole area between after 9:30, look how rapid and how violent it is. So you want to wait for a correct confirmation. Okay, so in this case here, this to me is a bit of a better trade, but this is risky. I'll tell you why. Prices come down. Okay, it depends on if you count this as a lower high, which you shouldn't. That's aggressive. Then you can say, okay, let me retrace and get in here. Okay, so you can buy here, put your stops here, aim for a 1 to 2. This is super aggressive. And this is what I used to do in the beginning. I don't do it anymore. It did work out sometimes it did not. But to me, if it looked like a break of structure, it was good enough for me. That's the way I looked at it. Okay, if it looked like a break of structure, it was good enough for me. Okay, perfect. So let's see what ends up happening here. It's probably going to take us out, but we'll see. Okay, and there you go. Hits TP. Okay, that's how I trade gaps. I just wait for price to get to that zone. Give me an entry confirmation. I enter. I go for 1 to 2 every time. That's how I trade gaps. Okay, so just to help you out here, I know it's a bit of a long-winded answer. When you're trying to use a gap, wait for confirmation. Wait for price or some sort of structure to change or show you that price is going towards the upside, and then you can get in. You can also wait for like engulfing candles. Sometimes engulfing candles are excellent indicators that price is going the other way on that gap. All right. I can go more in depth, but it's going to be super long with this. Already 11:15, so I'm probably going to kill this live real soon, and I want to get back to some of the comments, but I hope it helped you out. I think it was Bob FX who asked the question. Oh, but whoever asked the question, I hope this helps you out. So where are we now? Power 3, I closed the position. I gold at 10%. The other position still running. Stop loss break even. I'm done for the week. I love what Maximus just said. Maximus said he's at 10%. The other one is running break even. He said I'm done for the week. You know how many people after making 10% will still trade this week? It's insane. He's done. In fact, he could be done for the month. 10%, you are set. You don't need to trade, people. Discipline. Maximus, if you don't mind, if you're still in this live, how long have you been trading? Please let us know so that I kind of want to make a comment. Marcus congratulated him for it. He said thank you. Bob said, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I think he's talking to someone else in the chat at this point. Jack Rumble said, how long did it take you to get profitable? I'm 3 years in the journey and still not consistently profitable. Sometimes whenever I take a loss, I keep wondering if there's something I missed. Yo, listen, me and the other person I talked about that have been trading, I'm going to be 4 years this year, okay? I'm about to be 4 years in trading, okay? It takes a while. I only saw profitability I want to say maybe 6 months ago. No, 6 months ago was at the beginning of the year. So before this year, I was profitable in 2023. So maybe 8-9 months. But either way, it feels like just yesterday. But I haven't been profitable for too long where I can say it's been years. It's just been maybe we're heading towards a year. But it's no joke. It takes forever. And I literally begged God to help me. I'm like, Lord, please, Lord, I need this, right? I'm begging God. I'm like, Jesus, please help me out. Because just like you said, you keep taking these trades. I've gone from strategy to strategy to strategy. I'd find one that works. Then I would get into a losing streak. I'm like, oh, doesn't work. Let me go watch something else. And then you go on YouTube and you find all these. Let me show you how you can make 30% this month with this strategy. You're like, oh my God, I found it. And it's all the same. If I give you a system to trade, right? Your risk management and your psychology is what's going to make you money and keep you profitable. So it's a lot of internal work. It's not the strategy per se. It's more so you. But there is a technical component that you also have to master. So that's interesting. Are you the owner of Prop for Match, by the way? I wish. No, I'm not the owner of Prop for Match. I'm just the face of it in the sense of I'm the one that does all the media representation and things like that. But I'm working with them at this time, doing that kind of work with them. But I'm not the owner. The owner is well documented. Actually, if you go on Twitter, you'll be able to see the owner, who the owner is, the CEO and the CTOs of Prop for Match. Marcus said, boom, TP. You hit your TP, Marcus? Again? How many trades were you in this morning? You're just making money, bro. Spread some money in the chat, Marcus. Spoil us a little bit. Spread some money in the chat. Caramel said, yo, Caramel, welcome back, buddy. Was good. He said, good day, my dude. Good day to you, too. He said, Forex has been good to start this week. I'm in on EuroCAD long, and it looks like a good week. I love the fact that a lot of you guys are trading GJ, Euro JPY, or EuroCAD. So you guys are in some sort of a pair that's correlated, and it seems to be doing well for you guys. That's awesome. Bob FX said, would it be possible to hop on a call and you teach me why I keep losing? You guys, I'm actually going to do me and Marcus were talking about, I'm going to open a one-on-one call type of thing. I'll send you guys a schedule and you guys can start booking one-on-one calls. Yeah, it's something I'm going to look into. So I'll probably hit me up on Instagram. I'm going to set things up anyways. I'll probably do a video to let everybody know the channel is open for that as well. Marcus said, no, you hit TP. Oh, shoot. Okay, we hit TP. Oh, we did, Marcus. No, wait, no. I'm still in the trade. It was supposed to be here. Was I overstretched? Let's see here. Yeah, no, Marcus, unfortunately, I'm still technically in the trade. I mean, I would, especially after I was telling this, I think it was M or Maximus, one of them, I was telling them, once you see this, you should probably get out. I'd be probably out the trade by now, but it's okay. We're still going to hold and see what happens. It is 11 o'clock. Remember what I told you guys around 11 o'clock? Look what happened as soon as it hit 11. Price starts going the other way. This is all from years of data, people. I tell you, I know indices really well. Not to brag, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning, but I've learned that 11 o'clock, even if it's just a retracement, it just starts going the opposite direction at 11. It's the weirdest thing. Alrighty. Carmel said, yeah, EuroCAD is set to have my first TP 80-90 pips on the weekly, which I'm hype about. That is fire, bro. Guys, put some fire emojis in the chat. Let's encourage each other, bro. We're in an industry where apparently 90% of traders lose. We must be the top 10% or 1%. So let's give each other some support. Marcus made money today. I think M made money today. Maximus, I think, made money today. And now Caramel looks like he's gonna make some money as well. This is fire, bro. And you know what's crazy? I lost today. But that's just life. Tomorrow I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? So that's super fire that you guys are making money and winning trades. Super, super awesome. I don't trade Forex, by the way, just indices. I'm only Forex only. I'm only indices only. I don't trade Forex at all. But people have been asking me to give it a shot, so I might. I'll have to maybe do some backtesting or maybe backtest live with you guys. Let's set a date to backtest and see if our strategy works on Forex and take it from there. Caramel said, I should have gotten in with a bigger lot size, but trying to regain some of the losses from last week. Caramel, be smart. I think what you're doing is smart. This is what I did when I lost almost those 6 trades. What I did was I started minimizing my risk. So instead of risking 1%, I went to 0.5. What I would advise you to do is not to change the position sizing too much. So don't go like, okay, today's going to be 0.2, the next day is going to be 0.5. Stick to a certain amount, or else it'll be hard for you to climb back up. If your edge works and you're actually profitable, it'll work out. You'll make your money back. But don't switch positions. Go from 0.05 or 0.25, whatever you're comfortable with, until you get back to the account's threshold or break even, or even if you build a bit of a cushion, then you can start risking 1% or a higher amount. All right. Maximus said, been trading for 2 years now, but a lot of learning, reading a lot, and a lot of YouTube. Yeah. You know, some people learn in 5, some people learn in 1. I saw a guy who learned in 6 months. It depends on how much work you put in. I took a year off. You know what I mean? Because I have other businesses and stuff. And at some point I'm like, bro, trading is high stress, man. I was so tempted to connect a heart monitor to myself and just see how much damage this thing was doing on me, but it wasn't easy, right? So Maximus has been trained for 2 years, and within that 2 years, he's identified that once you're up a certain amount, stop trading. I can't stress that enough. You're up 5%, 10%, 3% for the week. Don't look for no more trades. You even have me breaking my print over here. Don't look for no more trades. All right. So shout out to you, Maximus. That is wonderful. Marcus said dynamite. Explode. Yeah, so Marcus is showing some love to everybody who made money today. That is fire. That is why swing trading is the way. Ha ha ha. Yeah, swing trading. To be honest, when I started, at some point I got into swing trading. It was easier on my psychology. It was just so much easier for me to just put the trades in, and it takes a while to play out, right? So it doesn't stress me as much, and I can go throughout the day, visit the other locations, and then still kind of every so often check my trades. Maximus said, peeps, a prop firm named Willis Capital just called me asking if I'd purchase an account. What's your advice? I've never heard of them, and I hope it's not Willis FX, the trader, who's opening a prop firm. Not to say anything's wrong with him. I'm just saying I hope it's not a YouTube trader who is opening an account, because then we have no track record, right? Willis FX seems to be a very excellent trader, but we don't know what he's like as a business owner or a prop firm manager. Wow, thanks for you telling me about prop for match. I found the prop I want to buy. 2 of the alpha capitals. Thank you. You're welcome, bro. That's what this whole live and everything is about. And Bob FX said, the Forex Funder, I've been burning with them. But yeah, Forex Funder, bro. Listen, the Forex Funder, bro. I had to go back and forth with them for a hot minute before I can get my account. They are just, I can only say so much, but stay away from them if you can. Bro, I'm only a year in and my strategy seems good. I've been watching this guy. Euro JPY. Wait, we had a trade open on. Did it close? Let me see something. Oh, guys, look at what's happening on indices. You see what I said at 11 o'clock? Look what's happening at 11 o'clock on indices. This is what I'm telling you. At 11 o'clock, look what's happening. Price is tanking towards the downside. So this trade doesn't actually matter, so I'll let it do whatever it has to do. But I want to check out Euro JPY because apparently, oh yeah, and that hit stop loss as well, okay? So this is the one that we took with Marcus. Marcus was out. I think he got out around somewhere like over here. And then we said if we were going to trade it, this is what we're going to do. That also hit stop loss. Let's go back to US30. Actually, I'm going to do like this. Boom, 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 boom. Where are we at? There we go. Yeah. So US30, look. I mean, and as we could see, right, from the retracement, right, when we initially got in, price was moving violently, and I was telling you guys that if I was going to get into a trade, I would have to see price retrace that high, but it was at 11 o'clock, so there was nothing I could do. But I was looking for a price to give me some sort of entry signal to get in, and even with this, as nice as this looks, it's not my entry signal, so I wouldn't have gotten anyways. But this is what I'm saying about indices, guys. Like, I know when they move, what times they move, and all that stuff. What I do is I just follow my system. When certain things show up, I just take my trade and I'm good. Let me close this buy limit. We're not about to do that. Because this is most likely going to hit stop loss. But yeah, you know what I mean? So this is how it goes. Where are we at? Well, thanks for telling me. Bro, I'm only a year in and my strategy seems good. I've been watching this guy called Sal Sanchez. He trades the same as M Limit. I've seen he got profitable in 2 years. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy traders out there. I watched a lot of traders when I was coming up as well that were just monsters. There's one guy I'm actually going to share with Marcus. He was an absolute beast. He used to like do crazy flips, like real flips, right? So a lot of crazy traders out there. If you guys find what works for you, bro, do it, man. That's all I've been preaching to you guys. Whatever works for you. Don't worry about how pretty it looks. Don't worry that somebody caught a 1-8 in the same trade because they entered all the way down here instead, right? They entered right here. You're like, oh my God, I want to learn how to do it. You will eventually. Just worry about being profitable first. That's my whole thing. No, this is not my capital account, Bob. Yeah, Bob FX. Yeah, it's not my capital. No, we just took a paper trade on here just to show like what would have happened if we actually entered, and we would have almost hit TP and then it reversed, which we would have closed at some point. I think another guy was in here named M. I think he took this trade as well, and he made good money on that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was going to take the trade if you guys said to take it, but everybody was like, bro, just stay disciplined and don't trade your account. I'm like, all right, cool, I won't do it. And then we just avoided this one here. Yo, have you seen Alex G? He's crazy, bro. He really turned 100 into 50. I watched his first series where he turned $100 into like 300K. That was crazy. Listen, I have nothing against the guy. He seems to be an actual trader. I've watched a lot of his stuff. His stuff is simple, easy to understand, and he seems to be very profitable. I have nothing bad to say about him. Do I think it's real? I believe so. From what I understand, he documents all his trades live anyway, so I have no reason to doubt that. But I haven't seen anything recent, but I will check it out. Yeah, see, Marcus said as well that Alex G seems pretty legit. Yeah, I don't see anything that strikes me as like, oh man, this guy's a fraud or anything. However, I have heard some things about his, I think Rocket 21 prop firm. I think that kind of went sideways a little bit. So, but I'm not gonna speak on that. I don't have any information on that. Just things that I've heard. So guys, as you can see, I didn't even get to eat my breakfast. It's 11:27. My cutoff time is 11. I'm working on setting some things up so that, again, you can have the one-on-one calls. I'm going to possibly open a Discord just for lives. Me and Marcus are already working on a Discord for AI bot trading because we're working on that as well. Marcus, if you want, you can drop it in the chat for anybody who wants to join the Discord for bot trading. But I'm going to be opening a Discord just for live trading so I can tell you guys when the scheduled lives are and we can kind of communicate. But that's pretty much it. So I'll open a channel for us to do one-on-one calls. The person who asked about the one-on-one calls, I think it was Bob, hit me up on Instagram. We'll set up a time. We'll do a one-on-one call. I'll chat it up with you. I just got to go look at my other businesses and take care of some other things right now. Got some bills to pay. It's my wife's birthday month. So I bought her a car last year for her birthday. I bought her a Mercedes. This time I want to buy her a Porsche. Now I'm thinking about either doing that because we're already going to Colombia, right? And some other places for her birthday. So I'm traveling, and then that trip is gonna run me like, no lie, like 10K, right? That trip is gonna run me like 10K in expenses. So I'm debating on whether or not I should do that and the car, or if I should wait till Christmas and do the car at that point. The Mercedes, I bought her a CLA. It's really nice. Sport package, black on white. Nice interior, all the specs and all that stuff. And she loved it until winter hit. When winter hit, she was like, I need a car with a remote starter and stuff like that. Mind you, my wife is not like a picky person. She's not hard to deal with. She's not a demanding person at all, but she really did want a car that she could start in the winter, because when she comes out from we have like some businesses, some of them are brick and mortar. When she comes out from the building, she has to like warm up the car and stuff like that. She didn't like it. My car, I can warm it up all the time, right? So long story short, I'm thinking of changing her car, but I don't know. You guys let me know. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas, maybe outside of that, as to how that works. And then, so Bob FX said, how long till I pass my challenge? To be quite honest with you, we're paused right now. So I'm literally waiting for them to come back so I can continue. But I'm deciding on if I should go aggressive or not, because I like trading conservative the way I do helps me to pass challenges and stuff. But this challenge, I kind of want to get it over with. I'm so tired of it. So I might do it aggressively when we get back. Caramel said I'm down for the Discord. Yeah, for sure. I think it was Caramel. You're the one that we were chopping up on Instagram, right? I think we were gonna set some things up. So yeah, we're gonna do a Discord. Maximus had been following Alex for a while. He's good. Rocket 21 was just a joke they sent to get attention. Oh boy, that's a topic for a different day. Marcus said join the Discord. It's actually premium but exclusive for you guys. You can enter now. Bob said, bro, what's your accuracy? Bro, what, you're actually a rich guy? What, I thought you was just starting to be profitable. I'm not rich, but my wife and I, like I said, we have some businesses, so we make decent money, right? I'm not gonna come up here in front and, you know, I ain't got Lambo money. And it's not like a Porsche GT3, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a 250K car. It's more like closer to like 100K. And depending on the model she wants, there's, you know, because there's the Cayenne, then there's the Macan and stuff like that. She wants an SUV now, so I can get that maybe 50, 60K. So it's not like I'm super rich. I'm also possibly gonna change my car as well. So we'll see what happens. I'll put all that in the vlogs and all that stuff. I'll bring you guys along so you guys can see, but I'm not rich, guys. I just want to say this. I am not rich. I'm like you guys. I still have bills to pay. Part of the reason why I'm trading is to maximize my income, obviously, right? I'm just patient with it because I don't need the money. So I don't try to go super ham. I know some people buy accounts, will open like 4% position and stuff. I don't do that because my business side of me and my risk management side just doesn't allow me to trade like that. But we'll see what happens. Bob FX said, car at Christmas, definitely don't go too crazy. Anything can happen. I got you. Yeah. So he's saying like, though, he's basically saying, you know, don't spend too much because you're already spending a good amount this week. So, but guys, my wife, we've been together almost 10 years. She was with me when I was broker than broke, bro. Broker than a broke. I was like, I had nothing. And she's been with me. She supported all my crazy dreams, all my crazy moves. And, you know, we're here because she's believed in my dreams and aspirations. And so I just try to give her the world, man. She's amazing. 10 years we're going to be together in November. So that's why I kind of go ham for her. Maximus said, Marcus, which Discord and the link? What's the Discord? Bob's asking. Caramel said, yes, sir. Bob said, low-key might go aggressive too. Yeah, man, it's annoying to do this thing the correct way. It's really tough. Caramel said, need the Discord link. Bob said, nah, fam, you are rich. Though getting a car is crazy. I'm young, aspiring to be more like you. Man, I appreciate it, man. All I drive is BMWs. I've had BMWs my whole life, and I'm thinking of getting another one. Okay, I don't want to spoil it because it might be in the video, so I'm just gonna zip for now. But it's nothing crazy. It's nothing super new or anything like that. But I'm thinking of doing something for the people. You know what I'm saying, for the vlog. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if everything goes well, I'll get a car. She'll get a car, and then I don't even know what we'll do with our old cars. I'm going to keep mine. I'm going to keep my other BMW and just maybe make it my daily or something. I don't know. But I'm not rich. I'm not rich. Okay. I have a lot of bills. We have a lot of overhead expenses and things like that, but we're doing okay. We're doing enough to be able to do a little bit and travel and things like that by God's grace. So yeah, guys, I'm probably going to at some point ask you guys for ideas on how to go about it, how to, you know, surprise her. Luckily for me, she doesn't have any of my social, well, she has, but like she's not going to see this live or anything, so I could chop it up with you guys. We could plan it up while we're trading, and then I could show you guys the surprise and stuff, you know what I mean? Like when it all works out, I could show you guys how it goes out. But as much as I'm enjoying this, guys, it sucks so much. I really have to get back to my other things. But tomorrow, just before everybody leaves, tomorrow I'll be live streaming around 9 o'clock because Tuesdays I don't trade. So tomorrow, if you're up early enough, depending on where you are in your time zone, come join the live. Okay, we're gonna be trading. I'm gonna be looking at your trades, helping you guys do the analysis because I don't trade on Tuesdays. It's one of my rules. I don't take any trades on Tuesdays. So if you guys come early, we'll chop it up. We will, you know, it'll be fire. All right. So hopefully I can see you guys at 9 in the morning. With that being said, I love each and every one of you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys always make this fun. Thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. All right. Thank you. We'll tune in. I have work, but we'll try. Yeah, no problem, bro. No problem. I'm going to set a schedule. When we open the Discord, we'll all select the time that works best for all of us. All right. So that we can all meet up at the same time. Shout out to Marcus for joining, always supporting. Go check out his channel, guys. Marcus has like 22K. Does a lot of great content. Go check out his channel. And if he doesn't drop the link in the Discord, it should be somewhere on his channel. All right. So yeah, man. Love you guys. See you guys.